our running mate, our partners in life play a very important role in supporting and uplifting and echoing the message of the candidate. And so today I want to look at the forecast going into the election for September and October for our three running mates in this year's presidential election. So welcome. My name is Lydia. This is the Feng Shui and Bazi Chinese Astrology channel. On this channel, I often like to read the charts of famous people because I feel it helps us to understand our own lives and our own charts. So if this sparks interest for you, please subscribe, like, hit the bell so you don't miss a single video. This is ever changing, though I feel like there's been a little bit of grace. The headlines don't seem to be quite so dramatic lately. Just toned down enough, right? That we could enjoy a little break. So I'm going to take a look at J.D. Vance and Tim Walz and also Nicole Shanahan, even though she and RFK Jr. have taken a step back. They are certainly not out of the race, and we can, anyone that wants to still vote for them in certain states can still do that. So I think it's still worth looking at, because I don't know that everyone that is currently running is actually going to make it all the way to the finish line. And I've been talking about that all year long. So many videos about this election, like never before. And I look back on the last two jobs that I had created for myself out in the world, and how both of those organizations, I made the mistake of not checking these people's astrology ahead of hiring them. It's a very smart thing to do, is to find out somebody's, astrology, to make sure that this person isn't going to turn against you. And, I am born in the year of a horse and the day of an ox. But I have to say, for whatever reason, the enemy of the horse is the rat. The rat gets along fine with ox people. Doesn't seem to matter. The rat are the people for me to avoid. It's just, they are my challenge. So I paid for it. And so when we have a running mate on a stage, on a world stage this large, it just is like, wow, how these people can both lift you up or they can bring you down. So when we look at their astrology going forward, we have this ability to kind of look into kind of a crystal ball of sorts to say, all right, well, what's going on? And, it's interesting because both J.D. Vance and Nicole Shanahan are born on the day of a Yang Earth something. And that Yang Earth something happens to for both of them be interesting, right? A Yang Earth dragon. Okay, so Nicole Shanahan, born September 26th, 1985. J.D. Vance, born August 2nd, 1984. Young people, right? Tim Walz, born April 6th, 1964. He is a yin wood person. You remember when I spoke earlier about these guys that J.D. Vance is born in the day of a dragon and the hour of a dragon, and Tim Walz is born in the year of a dragon, month of a dragon. There is so much earth dancing around this election with the candidates and their running mates. It's rather startling and an interesting thing, because the dragon, if nothing else, my friends, this is the year that is the lead up to what's coming in 2025, the year of the snake. The last year of the snake was 2013. Yeah, think back 12 years, right? Where were you? What was happening? Because I know for me, that was one of the most transformative and painful years of my life. And you ever do this where you look back and you're like, oh, that was such a bad year. And then you're like, oh yeah, but that was a bad year. Oh yeah, that was a really challenging year. It's like, I have to really dig to find a year where I could say, yeah, what a great year. I don't know. I feel like life in general just keeps throwing us those curveballs, friends, just to make sure we're on our toes. Staying awake, staying alert. So here we go. I'm going to share with you the September forecast and October forecast for each candidate. And I made an interesting revelation today as I was looking at this. September is a yin water rooster month. The month of October is yang wood dog, right? The election day is a yin water rooster in the month of a yang wood dog. And so it's kind of, I realized, I think what first came to me was, whoa, that's the same day as the astrology for September. And what that feels like to me, just intuitively, is it's as if we're pulling the astrology of September along with us, right? So it's almost like, have you ever seen those kids that have the little wagon that you pull along and then you can add another wagon and another wagon, almost like a little train? It feels like that. Like we're pulling this energy all along with us. And so it's interesting because Nicole and JD are going to have the same astrology because they're both yang earth people to a certain extent. And Tim Walz is out there in a completely different environment. And I still, like many astrologers, cannot definitively say, oh, there's your winner. There are so many variables still in play, and a lot of it is the fact that there are so many of the candidates who have dog and or dragon in their charts, making it a very conflicted, volatile environment where in that container, anything can happen. It doesn't feel stable. And it doesn't feel determined. All right. So let's start with, let's start with JD Vance. All right. So running mate for Donald Trump on the Republican ticket. His month of September is really speaking about wealth. It's about success. It's highlighting his marriage. I'm going to take myself down a little bit lower here. It just helps me to see a little better. There's a lot of success right now around his career. And there's a lot of moving around, mobility. He's on the go. And there's a lot that's changing. This is an action-oriented, he is on the go, he's moving, things are changing, things are adapting. He has got to use his intelligence, he's got to use his guts to make those right choices because a lot is changing in his life right now. And the little bit that I've seen, it feels kind of like somebody that's not quite ready being pushed onto stage to deliver something, and he's stumbling Either that or the news is just trying to show us all the ways he's stumbling, but it feels like he's a little green. That's just my intuitive seeing him. It feels like this is like there's a lot of success here, but there's also a lot of change. So JD Vance then moves into October, and things get really shift up now. We're in a Yang Wood dog, and here we see that this is, the dog is going to challenge and bring conflict to all these people with dragons in their chart. And, I already said that JD has the dragon in his day and his hour. This is a direct hit to him and his career. This is, this is a shake up, wake up. What's going on? It's not stable. It's not stable. The Yang Wood coming into JD Vance's chart is all about, it really feels like, a mighty oak tree hitting the ground. I don't know if you've ever been present. I have experienced being around a tree falling. It is a powerful moment where you have the ground covered. Boom, boom. That's what's going to feel like. A big, huge shift in his career. There's a lot of criticism. There's a lot of judgment against him. It's like his career is on trial in a way. And the dog is highlighting him, his sovereignty, his people, who's supporting him. So it's almost like the two sides, those that are critical and those that are rallying him on. And underneath the dog, there is government and politics and the continuum of change. And all of that crashing into his two dragons feels like, honestly, like anything could happen. Anything could happen in that situation. So then you take those 2 months, September, which starts on the 7th of September and runs until October 7th. October 7th begins the month of the Yang Wood dog, and that runs until the 6th of November, which means that the election falls on the last day of the month of October, according to the Chinese calendar. So we juice this. Now we're going to pull it all together, right? So now we have the day of the election, a Yin Water Rooster Day, Yang Wood Dog Month, and the Yang Wood Dragon year. Just that astrology alone is conflicted. You add the conflict that is collective for all of us to experience, and we directly place it into his chart. This is, wow. It's, the Yang Wood speaks of financial, The Yang Wood speaks of this big, huge shift in his career. It honestly, this could end or land just about, yeah. There are so many moving parts here, and there's so much at risk for JD Vance. So I'm going to leave that. And because Nicole Shanahan is so much like this, we're going to shift over to her. So for her, again, it's the same astrology. For her, September is wealthy. It's successful. It shows her on the move. It shows that things are changing in her life. What role is she now playing as the campaign that she and RFK Jr. are in has so dramatically shifted? And it looks like her role is going to continue to change in all her activity and success of September, sorry. And then, so it feels, right, like there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of moving around people. They're still campaigning. They're still very active, doing lots of things, but it's changeable, transformative. And then we get to October, and for Nicole, again, it's a massive change to her career. Something is abruptly happening. The dog speaks of her sovereignty and her people, her supporters, how she stands sovereign with herself, and it speaks of government and politics. And again, under the surface of this dog change. And that dog is going to bang right up against her day of the dragon. This is someone who has we don't have a birth time for Tim Walz, and we don't have a birth time for Nicole Shanahan. So, you can only see part. We can't see their career, which is really tragic. I keep thinking the closer we get that eventually somebody's going to publish it, but I'm not seeing it. So there we have it. It's like 3 wheels on a car. Can we move the car? Does a car drive with 3 wheels? I don't think so. So, we can only look at so much of this story. We get to the election day for Nicole Shanahan, and again, we're pulling along these other components. We have success, and we have money, and we have movement, and we have change on the day of the election. And this change can be like a revolution, a renaissance, an uprising. Who knows, right? And then, the month and the year are Yang Wood. And that Yang Wood speaks of a massive shift in her career. It is an abrupt, sudden, huge shift. And with that comes a lot of criticism, judgment. This is not easy. The dog and the dragon of October and this year are really reinforcing a lot coming at her personally. And again, we don't know her hour. Is she born in the hour of a dragon like J.D. Vance? I don't know. Yeah. And so this speaks of her in her sovereignty. And again, it feels like she's got her supporters and her critics. The people that are possibly bringing her down or shifting her career in a completely different direction. And at the same time that's going on, she's got her support. And tucked into that month of October is politics and government roles. There is just so much shifting and changing here. So for both JD and Nicole, it feels volatile, unstable, unpredictable, unforecastable. Because honest to God, anything and everything could happen. Does make it kind of exciting. So Tim Walz, completely different energy. And if you line them up, you can feel the different energy. Tim Walz, his September is very much a, out front in center is this, it's like he's got outside resource, almost like a super PAC coming in to give him support. And it's also a spiritual journey, a teaching time for him. And he is learning. He is learning and adapting. And I think this is it's a support coming to him that feels very blessed. And with that softness of the blanket, the rooster brings in a huge shift to his career and how he's dealing with the critics and the judges that are coming to him and how he addresses all of that. But it's definitely shifting his career. And then we get to October and the Yang Wood, which is just like the Yang Wood of the year of the dragon, is showcasing loss of money, but also a change of role. Who am I? I'm not this anymore. Now I think I could be that. But as you have all these critics and all these people pushing at you, can you hold on to your identity? Can you hold on to your voice, your moral compass, right? If you get into a container of people who are all kind of saying, you need to be more this, you need to be more that. Why did you say this? Why did you do this? I would imagine after a while, you could get very confused about your own voice, right? So in addition, October, the dog brings in a conflict because Tim Walz is born on the month and the year of the dragon. And so this does not affect him personally. It does not affect his career. It's far worse for J.D. Vance, far worse for Kamala Harris, not getting into the run to the candidates here, but just mentioning, right? So, and I believe so anyway, I don't want to distract myself because Lord knows that's an easy thing to do. All right, and then when we look at the dog for Tim Walz, this is about success and money and being on the go traveling. Tucked into the dog is shifting and changing with his career and a lot of activity, and he's getting into this now. This activity, under the surface, he's starting to enjoy some of this. The year that we're in, again, it's speaking of a new role that he's playing. And it's speaking of, there's money coming in and money going out. There's a lot of fluctuation with money for him and a lot of travel, a lot of focus on travel, movement, success. And tucked into that is a sense of self and the people following him, his supporters, and also outside resources. And again, this could be spiritual. It could be a teachable moment. It could be an inspired moment this whole year, a teachable year, an inspired year. So when we look at Tim Walz for Election Day, that's what we're seeing. Election Day is a rocketing shift to his career and outside resources. It's a teachable moment. It could be an inspired moment. And he's definitely learning to play new roles. And he's feeling into success. He's feeling into movement. And I think that predominant feeling is far more positive than it is for Nicole and JD. So if I were to put my money on any one of these three making it to the end line in a way that feels successful, I'd have to point to Tim Walz. But there's still so much to experience, which is wild, isn't it? Because it's like 2 months to go. We've got to get through September and October, and that is it, friends. And I'm telling you now, this election, in a year of the dragon, truly means that anything and everything can happen. Because the dragon is the only Chinese zodiac animal that is not of this earth. It is galactic. It is mystical. It is magical. It asks us to dream in a way we've never dreamed before. It's leading yourself in your life with renewed conviction. It's allowing yourself to really let your rainbow flag fly, whatever your rainbow is painted to look like. Let yourself be you, show your colors. And the snake coming after this is for sure saying that as you have jumped into that ball pit of colorful, bouncy balls and took a mighty leap of faith this year, and good on you if you did that. This is not in any way, shape, or form a year to be hiding in the cave. That's a sad dragon. This is a year to come out of the cave and fly, to take the leap and fly. And that flying is going to lead you into this fifth dimension that many of us are living in more and more, which is a much more spirit, nature-based world. And the snake is going to bring us into a time of great transformation. And for the first time in a long, long time, the return of fire. Lots to say about that. Just teasing you, because I'm not talking about next year yet. We've got so much still to live. I hope that you've enjoyed this. Please be kind with your comments because I am not a political analyst. I'm an astrologer. And I've been doing this for over 20 years. I'm looking at just the astrology. And, some of you might think I have a lean one way or the other. I try really hard to be objective here. So thank you for watching. Thank you for your kind and respectful and interesting comments. And until next time, please be well.